Good morning, friends from around the world. I hope you're having a fantastic morning wherever this stream is finding you. Here I am coming to you live from Costa Rica. It is a beautiful day, as you can see. Flowers are in full blossom. The clouds are very beautiful. And I'm Dave. I'm pleased to share with you another episode of Blissin'Out. This is our 49th episode. And as you know, every Sunday morning we interview very inspiring individuals. Today is no exception. I'm very excited to be interviewing this young woman who has a very inspiring story. She's gone through more than her fair share of tragedies, I would say. And somehow she is a strong warrior woman who is now doing a job she loves, a very important job, and she's a testament to what we can accomplish and how we can find our path despite circumstances that are unfair and ridiculous. This show is brought to you by Karma Tribe, a global community of people willing to help each other. And it works through our website, karmatribe.com, which is a platform where people can offer free services and request when they need help. So there's thousands of different free things offered on Karma Tribe right now, different language classes, graphic design, permaculture advice, many different things on there. And at the end of the show, we'll go over the favors of the week. So without any further ado, I would like to bring on the inspiring Jordan. Welcome, Jordan.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for joining us.
Cool.
So, Jordan, you have a very interesting job, right? You are the social media manager for EcoWatch.
Yeah, so I was originally hired to hunt for trending video. As we know, everyone loves a video in the social world. It's a really great way to get people to engage on, really important issues in the world. And so then my job very quickly transitioned into social media manager. So I'm very proud to have that title. And as you said in the caption, I absolutely love what I do.
So EcoWatch is, can you tell us a bit about the organization and its mission?
Yeah, so EcoWatch, we were originally founded to help amplify the voice of, at this time when it was founded over 11 years ago, I believe it was to amplify the voice of the grass movement. Our founder, Stephanie Spear, saw that there are so many incredible organizations around the world, Karma Tribe being one of them, as far as Karma Tribe to Greenpeace, to Sea Shepherd, Oceana, some Years of Living Dangerously, just incredible people around the world. Years of Living Dangerously has a pretty good following, but not all these organizations do. So what we are able to do is kind of provide one place for all of these amazing organizations to share their mission together. So people can sit through and, on one website or one social channel and see just amazing people around the world doing incredible work. So we highlight that. We highlight, stories from our partners, and we also highlight stories that our independent writers find. We have two consistent writers, Olivia and Lorraine, and they're amazing. And every single day, we are able to publish up to 12 posts a day, sometimes more, with a very small crew. So it's very, very exciting. And we are the nation's leading environmental news site. So very proud to do that.
Wow.
And we just continue to grow. And my job is exciting because thanks to social media, I'm able to tell people about issues like climate change from a young, I'm able to help the younger generation to understand this through Instagram. And, the people who are still devout Facebook users, I'm able to engage them in a unique way. And then you have the people who love Twitter, but they hate everything else. And that, we strategically find ways to communicate our mission to them via Twitter. So that's the really cool thing about social media is I'm able to take, one story that either our writers or partners or partner organizations formed, and I'm able to say, okay, now how can I how can I make people care about this story that wouldn't otherwise care? How can I find that connection? And what social media channel am I going to choose to share this on? So it's a very strategic way of communicating with the world. And Dave, I've talked to you before about how we are able to contrast the negative sides of social media. Like people, oh, Facebook is so addicting. Facebook is, well, you know what Facebook is really cool for? It's really cool to have one place where people can come together globally. People can come together and say, I care about the earth. So I'm gonna engage in this comment, and now I'm having a conversation with someone in China about air pollution, and I'm actually learning something. So I don't when I have so many friends and family who are just like, I'm done with Facebook, I'm done with its addiction, and da da da. But if you use social media intentionally, you use it to organize your life plan and your life passions, you can find people in these social communities who are using it intentionally as you are. And I mean, Dave, you and I connected because of a video that I saw you in on social media. And then I ran into you on the beach and recognized you from that video. That's amazing. So these little aspects of social media, I don't think they're really seen in the light that they should be. And yeah, so I could go on forever. I'm obviously passionate about this as a social media manager. So that's just a quick little introduction, I guess, to what I do and how we are able to use the power of social media in a positive way.
That's great. I couldn't agree more. And I mean, many a large percentage of the population is kind of like glued to social media. So like, thank God that there's people like you sending out inspirational and educational content and making their experience, meaningful. And it's such a powerful tool that the world has never seen before, and it can be used in good ways and in bad ways. And I think it's a very honorable and important job that you do.
Yeah. Thank you. And I also just want to add, unfortunately, it's not all positive. I don't want to, obviously our one of our missions is to spread positive news that brings people together. But there are, the oil spills and, certainly not even close of climate change news is positive, right? So I just want to add that there is that aspect, but, when we have an oil spill, we get more shares on that than any other topic. So what does that tell me? That tells me that someone's able to put their reputation, their social media reputation on the line to share this news that there's an oil spill off the coast of, China or something like that. That tells me that this is information that people do care about and they are willing to share. So there is that negative aspect of it too, you're going to see this negative oil spill, but should it be viewed as a negative story or should it be viewed as, wow, you know what I mean? Millions of people are sharing this. That means they care about it. They need to be informed of this. So I guess I'll stop there. I just wanted to add that it's not all positive news, but yeah, it is largely positive. So
absolutely. I want to say something about that, but first I want to say hello to our viewers that are joining us. Thank you so much. Wherever you're tuning in from, let us know. I see we have Jack Niel here. Hi, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Great to see you, Jack Niel. Hope you're having a great day. And we have Sandy from McDougall, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Sandy. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing this time with us.
And I'll just
so nice to read people's comments from around the world. But Jordan, yeah, you were saying let's not block out the negative news.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like fitting for you to say that, considering your crazy story of what is, the tragic events that you've gone through, and how I read your blog and I was really touched by it, and it seems like you decided not to block it out, but rather to surrender to these negative things in order to really heal and move forward with your life. And so I was wondering if you'd be willing to share a little bit Sorry, cut out for a second, but Jordan, would you be willing to share your story?
Yeah, sure. Where should I begin? Should I just kind of?
Well, you studied journalism in university,
Yes.
and then like a few years later, you met this wonderful man that you fell in love with. Can you
Yeah.
start from there?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I went to journalism school at the UW Scripps School of Journalism. Anyone on here knows anything about Ohio University, give us a shout out. It's one of the best places in the entire world. And it's one of the top journalism schools in the nation. So I'm very proud to have gone to this school. It really gave me the foundation that I needed to succeed in this industry. So yeah, I had an amazing college experience. I went on to move to New Jersey for reasons I don't necessarily need to get into. And I did. I found the man of my dreams. This amazing, literally tall, dark, and handsome. My life was too good to be true. He was willing to move back to Ohio. I was having a niece coming into this world, and I wanted to be closer to my family. But the cool thing is, the reason I'm sharing this part of my story is, notice when I said I graduated from college, I didn't tell you I hopped into a job, as most people do. That's the status quo. I refused to take a typical journalism job. I just knew that wasn't for me. When I graduated in 2015, all of my peers all were rushing into jobs. You know, they feel pressure from their parents. They feel pressure from who knows what source to just get a job, just to make everyone happy, right? But they're missing something. They forgot how important it is to choose what makes you happy. So I refused to do that. I was very patient, and it took me about 1.5 years post-graduation to check in with my network of people, being my best friend, Irma, EcoWatch's associate editor, told me that EcoWatch might be looking for another teammate. And I thankfully did go to the same journalism school. So they said to me, well, you know, we love Irma. Irma's a great worker, so a suggestion from her goes far. And that is what began my journey with EcoWatch. And I'm so entirely grateful for EcoWatch for hiring me, because they hired me in a time of transition. Social media is booming all of a sudden. You know, all of a sudden company needs social media managers. All of a sudden companies need people to search for trending video, you know? So I was hired in a time where I was able to use my diverse set of skills broadly. And so that's that. So I'm going to slow down just a bit, because, yeah, the next few months of my life were very crazy. So I get hired with EcoWatch, and 2 months later, I wake up and my husband's not in my bed. And this isn't some, like, my husband wasn't in my bed. Something was wrong. So it took me about 2 hours to find him. And long story short, my husband suffered a traumatic brain injury. He was riding his bicycle home from work. I thank God every single day, because I was able to have the most beautiful night with him the night before his accident. I saw the sunset on the river, and he just took care of me so well, as he always does. And I went home to take a nap, and didn't even set my alarm for work the next day, because Marco did that for me. You know, Marco made sure I was up in the mornings and all that. So yeah, he is, you might have to help guide me through the next couple parts, because this is where my heart feels real heavy. But yeah, so I lost my life as I knew it. I'll just say that. And I truly, it freaks me out how often I would say this is too good to be true. How is, like, my life was perfect, and it all got stripped from me. Yeah, I got through it. So, Dave, you had mentioned before wanting to know how, because I did eventually go back to work. I did eventually start riding my bike again, even though my husband was hit on a bike. He was hit on a bicycle. And that was a decision I had to make. I'm not going to stop riding my bicycle. I'm going to continue riding my bicycle, but I'm going to get a helmet, and I'm going to do it much more safely than I did it before. Dave, can you help guide me? Just like, I don't know, like there's so much hitting my mind and so many memories of what my life was that day. So I don't exactly know what part to share next. If you maybe have an idea.
So maybe many of the people watching may have had tragedy happen to them in their life, and tragedy hits different people at different times, and some people just get like just a really bad deal of the cards, like you did, of like in the maximum, you know, love blossoming, like you lose your husband at that time, like must have hit you like a freight train. And so like, yeah, how did you like start healing and like and how did you handle the situation? That's what our viewers want to know. That's what I want to know.
So it was very hard. Last year, it was hard for all of us. And I'm not the only one that went through this. Marcus' parents went through this. They're not the only ones that went through this. His sisters, his brothers, or his brother and sister. You know, all of my friends went through it. All of my family went through it. I mean, this was a real tragedy. I mean, a lifestyle that you have just got changed. Some people hate change. Well, imagine having no choice. Every single thing you know is changed, just like that. So, I really, how I got through this, I could sit here and I'm envisioning so many people that helped me got through this. But the first moment that I attribute my healing to is when my father sat with me in the emergency in the room out the waiting room. It was about a day or two, you know, after his accident. We didn't know if he was going to get through this or anything. We weren't sure he was going to make it through that day. And my father sat with me and humbled himself, and just tears welled in his eyes, and he looked into me. He looked into my spirit. He put his hand on my shoulder and he said, he told me about someone in his life that he knew, who he loved. It was one of his favorite aunts he ever had, and he loved her so much. And she experienced trauma once, and it wrecked her. It changed who she was. So my dad looked me in the eyes and he asked me to promise him that I wouldn't let that happen to me, and I didn't. So I promised that I wouldn't stop living in positive light, and I took that very seriously. I don't know if my dad even knows how seriously I took that. So so I committed to get through it. It was a decision. You know, it didn't just happen. It was a decision that I had to make, that I was going to be okay. So.
Wow. And it was a decision, but that was prompted by a loved one who like had such deep compassion for you.
Yeah.
And I think there's like an amazing lesson there, which is that we really can help others through these times by being like so compassionate and, you know, present for them. And, you know, like he basically like poured his heart out to you in that moment, and it had an effect on you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that it wasn't totally just born from inside you, but rather like you were touched by like deep compassion around you, and that helped kind of like turn a switch inside you or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm the oldest of 16 brothers and sisters, so I have them that I throughout my entire life have always known I have to be strong for. I have a huge family, and I know that I have something very important inside that I need to share with the world, and that is what I work for every single day. That's what I'm committed to. So I refuse to let life break me off of that, because if I let that get to me, if I let life break me, I would have absolutely nothing to live for every day. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I see some of my family members on, so I just want to say hello and thank you. I'm so sorry for not preparing for this, but I need to grab my charger really quickly, David.
Oh, go ahead. I'll say hello to our viewers. Hello, Jake from Athens, Ohio. Great to see you tuning in. Thank you very much. And good morning, Beverly. Thank you very much for joining the show this morning. It's truly a pleasure to have you sharing this with us and to leaving comments. Beverly says, love you, Jordan.
Love you,
So, Jordan, if I may ask, seems like part of how you dealt with it was like a certain like kind of like toughness and like grit of like, I'm not gonna let life I can't remember what your words were, but like, I'm not gonna let life just dictate like how I feel, or what is it that you said?
Yeah, something along the lines of that. I don't know exactly what I said, but it's one of my most core beliefs. And I think you kind of got the point out. Just, I'm not going to let the hard things that life will dish at you dictate who I am inside and dictate my willing to be okay, I guess. Because it could always be worse. That's the thing that people don't realize. It could always be worse. So you need to stop that. You need to look at your blessings and see what you were left with and focus your energy on that. So
absolutely. And there's a quote that I like. Every man thinks his burden is the heaviest. Like, so many people go through different types of tragedies. Some people are like, sexually abused. Some people like lose a child. Some people, many different things can happen. Some people lose an arm. And if you just dwell on it, you don't do any favors to yourself or to the world or to anyone. So I think so. I love how there's a part of it which is like a conscious choice of like, how am I going to take this, and kind of deciding how you're going to take it, which shows like extraordinary strength and like a fierce attitude. And I read on your blog that your spirit animal is the roaring lion.
Roaring male lion.
Roaring male lion.
Because you gotta have the mane. But that's how I felt inside. I felt like I almost felt like I have a clan to defend. I have such a huge, my family and friends are so important to me. And I know that I'm here, we're all in service to one another, right? We all have things that we need from one another. If we focus on that, then, imagine how beautiful this life would be if everyone focused on what the community needs from you. And I just want to add a little bit more. I love when you had said about how you kind of have to look at life almost like a warrior, like you have to channel your courage. And I just want to say, I don't know, do you know who Amanda Sage is?
A little bit, yeah, the artist, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I love sharing this with you. I wish I had her painting in sight, but when I was going through all of that, and I realized that it literally is a decision that you have to make. You have to make the decision that you're going to be okay. There's a painting that really inspired me, and it's her like holding, it's a self-portrait, and she's going like this, and it's like a view like this and a view like this, and that's what life is. And that really inspired me, just viewing life like that. That's probably one of them. I don't want to ramble, but I was very inspired by a painting by my favorite artist, Amanda Sage, to be that warrior spirit and just get through it.
Well, look who we have tuning in. Darcy Lou says, hey, Jordan, oh my God, it's 1 a.m. in China right now. I was heading to bed, but I saw you on. You're such an inspiration. I love you. I need to talk to you soon.
Wow. So Darcy Lou, I think I have to give you a little shout out. Darcy Lou is China's first professional surfer, everybody.
Wow.
And Darcy Lou is one of the reasons I love my job so much, back to the topic of EcoWatch, because Darcy Lou created a very simply done, eloquent, beautiful video that just showcases her spirit and her mission to fight ocean plastics. And she sent us a video. I don't know, Darcy, you might have been asking us to share it or something. And I said, wait, this is so cool. You're China's first professional surfer. That's amazing. And we've only begun finding ways that I can, we can work together. I can help amplify her message. She can help amplify mine. That's the beauty of social media, that we can focus on instead of focusing on all the negative aspects of it, which is back to what we were talking about earlier. So thanks for tuning in, Darcy.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story that you two connected over the shared mission to clean up ocean plastics, and now you're in a partnership with China's first professional surfer. Oh,
amazing.
It's amazing. And now she's tuning into our show. What a privilege. What a blessing.
What a blessing.
Jordan, so I wanted to kind of ask you, like, so aside from the tough, like, fierce spirit that you have, like, I also noted on your blog that there's also like kind of like a kind of like feminine energy side to this thing of like surrendering and accepting and like listening to your emotions and not blocking them out. I think that's kind of like another side of the same coin.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I just want to say I love that you just brought that up. I think we are in a time right now where the energies between feminists, I guess you would call them, who truly believe that the thing that the world is lacking most is a balance between the masculine and feminine. And so I guess, yeah, so I told you a lot about, I guess, the masculine side of me, the dominance, the warrior in me. But I also am very in touch with my feminine side, I guess, which would be, yeah, just submitting, just accepting and having love and faith guide you, not needing to know the whys, and definitely tuning into your emotions. It's something that I learned. I used to, have issues with some parts of my emotions, whether it's anger. Everyone has something that they don't like that comes out sometimes. And I used to fight it. Like gosh, why do I get so angry sometimes? This isn't me. I'm such a positive person. But all of a sudden I'm being angry and I would fight it and I would hate it and I would be mean to I was basically self-sabotaging myself in disappointment for my own emotions. And something happened, I probably think my counselor, that I began seeing to help me really tune into your emotions and look at them. Don't judge them. If you're angry, I learned that it's because your boundaries have been crossed. Someone has crossed you. You have a right to be angry. Now, don't obsess over it. Don't make it something that you're going to be thinking about for weeks. Look at it and let it pass. And it's as simple as that. And yeah, I just said, yeah, I guess that's just important. Yeah. So just look at your emotions and let them be whatever they are. If you're feeling sad, it's okay. Don't start thinking, oh, I'm feeling so sad today, da, 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 because then you're going to be thinking about the fact that you're sad instead of thinking about the fact that, okay, well, here's what you have to do about it.
It's very, very wise.
Say that again?
It's very wise what you're saying. I don't know. I agree with you. Like, I think what causes us so much suffering is not really like things that happen, but our resistance to things that happen. And then the scenario, like, just playing over and over, like, in your head. Like, it's not like, I don't know. Especially men also, like, really have trouble, like, accepting their emotions and facing them and experiencing them. So if they feel like a certain sadness, they kind of just repress it, and I don't want to feel that. I don't want to be sad. And then, but it manifests as like a physiological nagging, uncomfortable sensation. And it can leave trauma and like PTSD and stuff for a lot of people. But if you really get in touch with a discomfort and accept it and listen to it, it tends to vanish.
Do you think it's because men are resistant to the idea that they might have a lot of feminine energy inside? I mean, like, is it as simple as that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think absolutely.
And that goes back to Nina Simons. She's the founder of Bioneers, another great partnership that we're working on a partnership. But I should say I connected with her in Costa Rica. And she's the woman who fiercely believes that what the world needs is a balance between the masculine and the feminine. I mean, I'll leave it. It's true. And it's probably more difficult for men than it is women. I think women it's more socially acceptable to be dominant or submissive. And maybe for men, it's very simple to be dominant, but not very simple for them to have that submissive feminine side. So yeah, I don't know the answers to that, but I definitely do know that it's something that needs a lot of work in our society. Maybe a lot more than we realize.
Well, Jordan, it's been really a pleasure having you on the show today. Thanks for sharing with us both, these like really personal stories, and also, your journey of healing, and also sharing about your job, which is really interesting and important. So thanks very much for being with us today. I hope it's been fun for you.
Thank you. It definitely has been. I really appreciate the space, and I appreciate just the fact that you telling me that my story has touched you. I just want to let anyone know who's watching this, it truly does mean a lot to me. Hearing that just being vulnerable enough to share with you what I'm going through has helped guide you fills me with more happiness than I think any of you could ever imagine. So thank you. So
it's like, would it be okay if I shared your blog?
Yeah, go for it.
In the post, I'll paste the link right here. But it's amazing how, like, stepping out of your comfort zone and just being vulnerable and authentic and like telling your story, how much of a positive effect that can have on other people. And I think that's a really selfless, important thing to do. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and I just want to remind others to not be afraid to talk about trauma. That is something that I learned going to support groups for brain injury, that that's one of the biggest things we realize is people are afraid to ask us, right? We're afraid to ask someone about their brother who just died. We're afraid to, because we don't want to stir something up. Well, what people need to realize, I think what's so important to realize, is that it's our life now. And Marco's trauma isn't the only trauma I've experienced in the past 2 years. Everyone that's watching this might be thinking of some trauma in their life. Well, how often have you realized that people are like not asking you about it? Well, maybe they want to, but they don't feel comfortable to. We need to collectively realize that we all feel better when we are being open. We all feel better when we are sharing what is inside. You can't keep it inside, because there's someone out there that needs to learn from what you have to give. There's someone out there that can learn from your mistakes. What better, you know what I mean? So I just want to leave that with people. I hope that resonates with people, that we all need to talk about things that we've experienced. Whether, maybe someone watching this has a trauma that they haven't told anyone about, then it happened 6 years ago. Imagine how you would feel if you let that out. Not only would you feel amazing, you would feel healed, your healing would begin, but you would help someone. I know that you would, because you're not the only one that's experiencing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's having the courage to share, but it's also having the compassion to ask, to really like go beyond like the usual social niceties. And if you see someone who it seems like they're carrying something inside them, like kind of like really ask in a kind way, and maybe you can draw it out of them and help someone heal. And because sometimes I think a lot of people also like want to share something, but they're not sure like who they can tell,
Yeah. You just have to follow your heart. You have to follow your heart. And like you said, if you feel that someone is down, you feel that something might be going on, ask them. You are feeling that way for a reason. You know what I mean? You're feeling that way for a reason. Ask them about it. And it might not be right away. It took me a year to publish that blog post Marco's trauma. That Marco's accident was over a year and a half ago now almost. And I didn't write that blog until a few months ago. So just, work on yourself, heal yourself, find out how you're going to be okay, most importantly. Second, don't be afraid of vulnerability. You have to embrace vulnerability.
Beautiful words, Jordan. And we have all kinds of hearts and smiley faces and kisses flying into the stream from around the world.
Cool.
So with that, Jordan, let me say thank you very much again for sharing your story this morning, and I hope to have you back on the show sometime soon.
Well, yeah, I hope so as well. I hope so as well. Thank you so much, Dave. I will talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Have a great day.
You. Bye.
Well, folks, after that very touching interview, we will now go over something a little more lighthearted, the favors of the week. So these are favors from our website, karmatribe.com. And these are things that people have posted on there. So we have an offer here from a certain Rhonda Burgess in Antioch, California, USA. She offers long-distance Reiki. She says Reiki transcends time and space, and I believe it should be available to all who seek healing energy. This is just a snippet of what she put in the favor, but I recall she also said that she's offering this because she wants to spread love and healing around the world. So if anyone is going through an ailment, consider contacting Rhonda for some free long-distance Reiki. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, here we have a request from Tatiana Castro in Heredia, Costa Rica. It's called Help to Grow Home Crops. She says, I need someone with knowledge and experience in crops to help me grow a few in my home. And I recall she also said, like, times are tough economically, and so she wants to start planting some different crops. So if agriculture is your forte, consider contacting Tatiana. Next, we have an offer from Jessica84 from East Toowoomba, QLD, Australia. I love that town name, East Toowoomba. She offers help with English. She has a journalism background, and she says, I would love to help people with speaking and writing in English. So if anyone needs help with their English, don't hesitate. I'll be posting the links up in the post shortly after the show. Next, we have an offer from The Healing Artist in San Jose, Costa Rica. She offers organizing, tidying, and decluttering. She says, if you need help clearing out your room or your house, I would be happy to help. And she actually goes on to explain in the favor much more information about her background and also a variety of different things that she would be interested to trade with people. She's a true karma triber. She's offered many different things, requested some things, and she wants to really live out this kind of alternative economy. So thank you, The Healing Artist, for your generosity. Finally, we have a request from Celeste Guidi in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's requesting French classes de français. I would very much like to learn French. Well, Celeste, I might be helping you with this favor. This month, of course, I'm feeling more French than ever now that we are world champions. Allez les Bleus, champions du monde! So I'm feeling quite inspired to offer you some French lessons. So I will be answering this favor later today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this wonderful show. If you're interested to join our tribe, check it out, karmatribe.com. And see you next week. And hope everyone has a great day wherever you are. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye for now.